Hey everyone, today's video is going to be a taste test of all the things I picked up in my last Lidl haul. So if you've not seen that video, I will leave a link to that in the description. Lidl have released a whole bunch of new vegan products for Veganuary, so I picked a few of them up to try, which I'm very excited about. So I'm just going to crack on. I can smell the pasties that I've just finished cooking. They smell amazing. This is what they look like. So pretty. I mean, I don't think a pasty can be pretty, but like, also just look at this. It is perfectly cooked, it's nice and crispy. There was a little bit of leakage in the oven, but it's fine. Gonna taste these first just while they're hot, and then I will move on to the other bits. Feel like I might start with the beef one. So if you've not seen that whole video, one of these is just a beef pasty, the other one is a cheese and onion one, which is what I can mostly smell. So I think I'm gonna start with the beef one. I don't know if I've had a beef pasty before. I don't even know if I've had like a non-vegan one before I was vegan. I've had the Greggs steak bake, which I think would be like the closest equivalent. I don't know, there's a high chance maybe I've tried one on my channel before, I'm just not remembering. But I'm gonna give this a go. I don't know how well you can see that, but that is what the inside looks like. You can definitely see some carrot and I think potato. I'm not sure about like the beef equivalent. It's made from soya, so if any of you guys are allergic to soya, that is something to bear in mind. Normally I really enjoy like the vegan meat alternatives made from soya, so I have high expectations for this. Okay, so it's not super overpowering. I don't know if I even got any of like the beef alternative in that. It just tasted quite vegetably. Yeah, there's definitely not a super strong flavour going on. I'm gonna dissect this, I think, and just get some filling from the inside, because at the moment I can't really taste a whole lot. Looking at this, it's definitely more of like a mince meat rather than like chunks of beef. I think that's what I was expecting, and I think that's why I thought I couldn't taste any of it. But I think it's just basically mincemeat with a little bit of chopped up carrot and potato. Okay, yeah, there was definitely a lot more flavour when I had it by itself. I mean, it's really nice. It's definitely not offensive in any way. It's quite peppery. I feel like it's just got quite a strong vegetably taste. I don't know how to describe that. I guess almost like what a vegetable stock cube would taste like. It doesn't taste very meaty to me, in my opinion, but that might just be me. I've obviously not had meat in a while, so I don't know a whole lot of what meat should taste like. I definitely would buy these again if I was in the mood for this sort of thing. I mean, it cooks in half an hour. Super easy lunch, especially now that we can't just like pop to Greggs and places like that during lockdown. So if you're missing out on this type of food, I would definitely recommend trying this. Overall, I would maybe give it like a 7 out of 10. Okay, so now moving on to the cheese and onion pasty. This one I'm probably a little bit more excited about. I definitely can remember what actual cheese and onion pasties taste like, because it's not been super long since I last had one of those. I did try a cheese and onion roll from Waitrose a few months ago, and I did enjoy it. But I didn't think it tasted like a standard cheese and onion pasty would, which this one definitely smells like. I will say that. So far, just based on smell, this does smell really accurate. I feel like I'm gonna have to dissect this one again just so I can make sure I taste the filling. Even the inside looks like a normal cheese and onion pasty. I feel like this one is definitely maybe more realistic than the beef one. Okay, so you can definitely taste the vegan cheese in this, I think, in my opinion. It has that sort of like coconutty aftertaste, but because it's mixed with the onion, that definitely disguises it really well. Like, I think if you're not a huge fan of the vegan cheese, you might still enjoy this because the flavour is like a little bit different with the onion as well. Especially when you get a bite with like the pastry and everything, it definitely mellows it out. I just had like pure filling then, so it was quite strong. I mean, I really like it. I'm not like super against the vegan cheese taste. I feel like I'm so used to it now that it doesn't really offend me so much, and I'm such a fan of like the onion flavour. I feel like this is so close to being spot on. Definitely better than the Waitrose one. And again, if you're like missing this kind of thing, I feel like this would definitely hit the spot. Texture wise for this as well, I feel like it's fairly good. I think where it's got like other things in it, it's not just straight up vegan cheese that's melted. It doesn't have that like really gooey, gunky consistency that melted vegan cheese can have. I definitely think it has the same sort of texture that a normal cheese and onion pasty would have. So like overall, I feel like this has been quite a success. I would maybe give it like an 8 out of 10. Both of these I would buy again if that was the kind of thing I was in the mood for. Very happy that I've got another one of both of them to have in my freezer. So yeah, overall I feel like the pasties have been a success. The next thing that I'm going to try is the vegan coleslaw. So this is just standard coleslaw that's made with vegan mayonnaise. I feel like I'm going to be really gross and just eat this straight from the pot because I'm the only person that's going to be eating it, and then once I finish this video I'll actually have like a proper lunch with the rest of the pasties and have some of this on the side, I reckon. That is if they haven't completely like ruined it somehow by adding something weird. I feel like you just can't really go too wrong with coleslaw. This is what it looks like on the inside. Definitely just looks like standard coleslaw. Smells like standard coleslaw, so I feel like you can't really go too wrong. That is good. That is really good. I mean, that just tastes like coleslaw. I will say the mayonnaise is quite thin, but that might just be a personal preference. I think I'm so used to homemade coleslaw now, which I make a little bit chunkier, and I definitely don't put as much mayo on. That's probably just my personal preference. So this is definitely quite saucy, but it tastes really nice. And then finally for the savoury food, I've got 3 different cheeses that I'm going to try. So I've got a cheddar, I've got a feta, and then I've also got the Italian style. I think I'm just going to try these as they are for now, and then I might also try and have them with something. I feel like I definitely need to test how the cheddar melts. I just don't know what to melt it on. Like, I don't have any bread in my house or like pasta that I could maybe melt this on, so I might have to have a look in my fridge, or I might just have to try and melt it by itself, which might go wrong, but we'll see. I'm going to see what they taste like by themselves to start with. So I'm going to start with the feta and see what this one is like. Appearance wise, there's not a whole lot to say. It's just a white block of cheese. It smells quite strong. It smells very like yogurty, if that makes any sense. Like, it smells like yogurt. Texture wise, I've just sliced into this and it definitely doesn't have the texture of feta. It's quite like plasticky and rubbery like most vegan cheeses are. I know that feta is a lot more crumbly normally and a lot softer, so I don't think they've quite nailed the texture. Although saying that, the texture of it in your mouth is very different to the texture of like how it feels. It definitely has that like crumbly soft consistency when you bite into it, which is so weird because it's literally so like rubbery when I hold it and like break it, but as soon as it's in my mouth it's like that crumbly consistency. That's so bizarre. So bizarre. Taste wise, I'm actually a really big fan of that. I mentioned in my haul video that before I was vegan I wasn't like the biggest feta fan in any sense, so I don't actually remember what feta tastes like too much. I've not had a vegan cheese that tastes similar to this. Like, a lot of the time every type of vegan cheese kind of tastes the same and they just throw another ingredient in it to like switch it up slightly. This is very different to any other vegan cheese I've had. It's got like a very mild taste, but it has got that like slight sourness. I don't know how to say it without sounding just disgusting, but it just has like a slight yogurty taste to it, which I guess is actually quite accurate to what feta does taste like. I don't know, if you guys have tried this, definitely leave a comment down below and let me know what you thought. Overall, I'm actually a much bigger fan of that than I thought I would be. Like, I would give that like a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed that. Next up, I've got some of the cheddar to try. This again has that very like plasticky vegan cheese feel. It doesn't have like a super strong smell. This definitely reminds me of like the Violife cheese, so we will see if it tastes similar. I really like that. I do think it's similar to Violife. I'm not sure which Violife it's the most similar to, but it definitely gives me like Violife vibes. The flavour is really subtle, really inoffensive. I feel like a non-vegan would enjoy this. Don't want to say it because I feel like vegan cheese is so controversial, but that doesn't seem really strong to me in any way. It is definitely just more of like a mild cheddar. It would be really good in like a sandwich sliced up. I'm so intrigued to see what this looks like when it's melted and what it tastes like when it's melted. But by itself, I, again, would rate that really highly. Like, more highly than I think a lot of vegan cheeses that I've tried already. I think in comparison, I would maybe give like Violife and supermarket cheeses like a 7 out of 10. And I would give the cheddar, again, like a 9 out of 10. Both the cheddar and the feta, I'm really big fans of. I don't know why I'm so surprised. I just didn't expect that from Lidl. Like, I don't know who Lidl's manufacturers are or the people that come up with the food. I don't know if they get them from the same place as a lot of the other supermarkets, but I'm like really impressed by those. I would definitely get them again. I am really hoping that these stay like a consistent thing in Lidl. I know that Lidl often only have things for very short periods of time, so I might have to pop down there again soon and just stock up on some of these, because I'm going to be really sad if they stop selling them. overall I'm like really impressed by those. Okay, so finally for the Parmesan, this is definitely not something you would normally eat how I'm about to eat it, but this is obviously grated. It doesn't have a super strong smell, although it's definitely a stronger smell than the cheddar has. I don't even know how I'm going to eat this. I'm going to put some onto my plate and just pinch some into my mouth. Okay, that one is definitely more disappointing. That doesn't really have any flavour to it, like at all. I have tried the Violife Parmesan in the past, which comes in like the block, which is great, and that has like quite a strong flavour in my opinion. These shreds just don't taste like anything. They just have the texture of Parmesan, but like no flavour. I don't know if that's just because I'm having it like this and I'm not having it on food, so maybe that would be a different experience, but probably wouldn't buy that one again. I would give it like a 5 out of 10. It's not bad, it's just not really that good. I think I'm gonna have to try both the cheddar melted and the Parmesan with some food to get like a full idea of what I think of them. So I'll insert a clip of me trying them with food now. The Parmesan is definitely a lot better with food. I mean, ignore how gross this looks. I just heated up a little bit of leftovers to try with it. Definitely tastes better with the food, but it's still not like amazing. I'm not blown away by it. I probably wouldn't get it again, I don't think. And then in terms of how well the cheddar melts, I just made a cheese toastie and it definitely melted. It maybe took a little bit longer than a normal cheese would take to melt, but it is super gooey in there, so I feel like overall that is definitely a success. And then the final thing that I've got to try in today's video is this ice cream. This is peanut and hazelnut flavoured vegan ice cream, which I'm very intrigued about. It's not a flavour that I've had before, I don't think, the combination at least. I am a really big fan of hazelnut ice cream and peanut butter ice cream, to be fair, so I'm sure that together they're going to taste really good. I mentioned in the haul video, but they did also have like a berry flavour of the tubs of ice cream, and they had a few different like ice cream sticks and cones as well at the Lidl that I went to. So they've brought out a few options, even though I feel like ice cream is not going to be hugely popular this month. Don't know if it's just me, but I don't really fancy eating ice cream when it's so cold outside. But we're going to give this a go and see what it tastes like. That is not what I was expecting at all. It is like half peanut butter ice cream, half hazelnut ice cream, which is quite nice because if you don't like them mixed together, you can have them separately. So wasn't expecting that. I'm going to start by trying the hazelnut side, or what I'm assuming is the hazelnut side, I think, because I'm a really big fan of hazelnut ice cream. I literally have the most sensitive teeth at the moment, but that is really good. Like really good. I mean, it doesn't compare to the ice cream that I get at the ice cream shop near me. That is hazelnut flavour, but as like a vegan tub of ice cream for less than £2, that's really nice. Something about hazelnut flavoured ice cream just makes me think of Italy. I feel like that must have been the flavour that I ate the most while I was out there, but that just makes me want to be somewhere hot. I want to be walking down some cobbled streets. I want some like buskers to be singing something. I want an ice cream. I want to be so hot that I'm just complaining that I'm so hot. Honestly, I am really hoping that the world is in a better place by this summer, so we can actually enjoy it, because this ice cream is just making me want to go on holiday. It's so bad. I'm now going to try some of the peanut butter side. Okay, so that side isn't as good in my opinion. The texture of the ice cream is like a lot more icy. It feels like more like frozen water than the other side, which is a lot more creamier. I mean, it's still not like the worst vegan ice cream that I've had. I feel like a lot of vegan ice cream can be super icy, I guess, where they don't have the same sort of like milk solids that normal ice cream has. Flavor wise, it's really good. I mean, both sides are quite sweet and they've both got that kind of artificial sweetness taste to them in my opinion. I think the peanut butter side would taste really good with like some dark chocolate, maybe like dark chocolate chunks or like melted dark chocolate on the top. I feel like it needs something to balance it out, or maybe if you serve this with like a dark chocolate hot cake or something. I think that would work really well. Yeah, the more that I eat of the hazelnut side, the more I realise the peanut side is just not as good. I'm glad that it looks like I've got less in my tub of the peanut one than the hazelnut one. The consistency just isn't there. The hazelnut side is so much creamier. It actually has like the texture of normal ice cream. But if you're thinking about trying this, I definitely recommend it. It was literally less than £2, which is just crazy to me. But I hope that maybe in the future they bring out just a hazelnut flavour, because that would be ideal in my opinion, and I would definitely buy that again. In terms of if I would buy this again, I don't think I would, but it's only just because I don't really eat ice cream all that much. So this is probably gonna last me a little while in my freezer. It's gonna be a nice treat to have when I really fancy it. But that is gonna be everything for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Definitely let me know if there's any other new and vegan products that you want me to try. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.